So I've been an Apple user for a long time now, but this year the S26 Ultra really changed the way I think about Android. I started using both the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the S26 Ultra daily, and of course each for different things, you know? And I always like to have two different lines to manage separate aspects of my life. But over time, carrying two phones just gets old real quick. Pockets can only carry so much, and lately I've been enjoying being a little more lighter and more intentional about the tech that I carry. And at the end, even though I still have both, on my day-to-day, I've been using the S26 Ultra a lot more recently. I'm leaving behind FaceTime, fast AirDrop, and although I can do the same on the S26 Ultra, just slightly slower with quick share, moving things back and forth to my MacBook, and basically a tight connection with the Apple ecosystem. But I've learned that it's actually quite nice just to disconnect and build your own ecosystem where every piece, even from different companies, just work. Now using AirDrop via quick share, it just makes things a lot easier for the way I use my phones. And even though obviously, as I said before, it's slightly slower, it's not something that really detriments my experience. It gives me everything I needed to use my MacBook and my iPad in a very similar way, and I don't really feel like I'm leaving anything behind. The best part about this switch that I'm doing here is the level of productivity that I can achieve on the S26 Ultra. The display is really nice and it lets me enjoy the true aspect of the productivity that you get with a larger display. On an iPhone, unfortunately, as large as it is, you don't get to experience the benefits of having a bigger display because you don't have split screen or anything like that. And I feel like the iPhone may get to that point eventually. To that point, it does feel like a lesser capable phone, and even though obviously it isn't because it has a very powerful chip, it's a little bit slower to do the task that I want to do, just to put it in one way. For the longest, I've been a caseless guy, but with this phone, for some reason, I just don't like it. I mean, it feels nice on hand for the most part, but the moment you put it down, it's just so annoying to deal with that camera bump. If it was similar to the Pixel 10 Pro XL, it would have been amazing because it's horizontal, so it's not as annoying when typing on the table. But with this thing, also it's a little slippery, so something like this just works very well for me. So yeah, guys, you probably agree with me on this. It's really nice to use it without a case every now and then, but long term, to feel more comfortable with this phone, I really need to put a case on. And I forgot to mention also, the main reason why I'm using a case is because I like to use MagSafe when I go to sleep. The convenience of having everything in one place is just really hard to beat, especially when you don't have to have that many cables all at once, charging your watch, your headphones, and your phone. It just makes things a lot cleaner. And I've been preferring that method of charging a lot more recently, so that has become something important to me. The other features like privacy display on notifications and certain apps are a cool perk that go a long way when you think about it. It's definitely not as impressive as I thought it would be when it first was announced, but the way I'm using it right now, it just works nicely. And it gives me a solid level of privacy without overdoing it or affecting my viewing experience in any way that really matters. Also, the camera has been great on this last 3 months. I've been using the Expert RAW app for the most part, which I know is not the norm for most of you, but I really encourage you guys to give it a shot and play with the manual controls. I know it can be intimidating if you haven't played with something like this before in a real camera, but you get the best results with this phone in that mode, so it's really worth to spend the time to learn that mode, in my opinion, if you want to shoot the best quality possible out of your S26 Ultra. RAW photos have so much information, and with the quality of this camera, you're really missing out if you never use it. Now, the video is where the magic starts here. 3 months in, and I still believe that the APV codec is absolutely beautiful, especially if you can bake in basically all those LUTs that Samsung offers to give that video a little bit more of a cinematic look. The only problem is that it's very storage hungry, so if you don't have a phone with enough storage, it'll definitely deplete everything real quick. I don't know if you remember, guys, but my first few videos with the S26 Ultra, I was using a purple one. Now, due to me using this phone a lot more, I wanted to have more storage, so I ended up upgrading for 256 gigs to 512, and I went with the best color, in my opinion. It's the black, and it looks super nice. This is now the S26 Ultra that I have. I'm gonna be selling the other one because I have no other use for it. I needed more storage, and for anyone that, you know, is looking to use the camera more for video, I highly recommend to get at least 512, if not 1 terabyte if you can, because 256 just feels very little for that type of codec. It's just too heavy, and if you're gonna do it too often, you either get an SSD or be ready to start deleting stuff often, and you really don't want to do that much because it ruins a little bit of the experience, in my opinion. So just get enough memory. That's what I'm saying. As for the battery, it has been very consistent. All-day battery is the norm now for most phones nowadays, and this one is no exception, even though the battery basically stayed the same from last year's phone. But the interesting part is that it doesn't feel feel worse or the same. It feels better, showing us that Samsung really worked with the optimization of this phone, and it feels really good. Battery is not an issue, and if you are concerned, don't worry about it. It really lasts all day, like most phones anyways. Plus, if anything, it charges really fast in iPhone standards, so you'll be okay. As for the ecosystem, to be honest, one of the hardest parts to leave behind was also my Apple Watch Ultra. I've been using this thing for so long that at this point, I feel weird if I don't have it on. But I recently decided to try the Whoop to cover that area after hearing so much about it, and I have to say, I love the minimalist approach of a no-display fitness tracker. I've tried smart rings before, but for someone that goes to the gym, it's not really a good fit, especially for weightlifting. And to be honest, I do prefer the health trackers on the wrist for that same reason, because when lifting weights, it just gets in the way, and that's something that I don't want to deal with at the gym. The Whoop has been awesome with the S26 Ultra, and all the tracking information has been really nice to keep up with. I'm gonna work on a dedicated review for this thing because honestly, it's really good, and I would like to compare with my experience using the Apple Watch Ultra as well, price versus performance and all that stuff, but that will be a topic for a whole different video. As for my headphones, I was worried about that one because no matter what, if the sound quality sucks, nothing else matters. And no matter if you're an Apple hater, you can't deny that the AirPods are in a league of its own. Since they were released, nothing really came close until now. I bought the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, and wow, this sounds so freaking good. And I'm so glad that not only they improved the audio quality so much, but they also stepped away from the old design, which it wasn't it. I don't know, I wasn't a fan. It looked too similar to the AirPods, and in my opinion, they were not really good looking. Now on this design is a massive improvement in every single way. The only thing that I believe is not yet to the level of the AirPods is the noise cancellation, but I do believe it's the least important part for most people. At least if you have good sound quality, that bites off everything else that could be bad. And on these headphones, I feel like it's sitting at a really high level. So most people coming from the AirPods will definitely enjoy their experience, and at least when I bought mine, I got it at a really good discount too. I think mine worth like $120 with the discount after buying this phone too. So I'm sure you can find something out there with, you know, a decent price if you want to jump in and see if you really like it. But yeah, I've been using the S26 Ultra exclusively for some time now. And regardless, I think no matter what I do, I cannot escape being a two-phone person, because the idea here is to have always basically both full ecosystems. So whenever I want to switch to one or the other, I can just do so, and having everything that I need to not find any obstacles to my day-to-day, you know? And that includes having a fitness tracker for each one of them, having my proper headphones and everything, so I can do the proper switch when I need to. And when I want to use both, well, I have everything anyways, just in case. And having that flexibility is something that is really important to me as a content creator, so it makes sense in my mind, guys. I don't know, I know it's not the norm, that most of you guys have only one, but I have to have both to make videos like this, so yeah. But yeah, when it comes to recommending the S26 Ultra or not, I really think it's an amazing phone. And if you ask me, I think it's probably the best option for, you know, phones that we have available right now. And if you haven't tried Android and you're considering it, I feel like it's a good opportunity now to jump into it, because we have now a little bit of a bridge between Apple and Android. Now that QuickShare someone works with AirDrop, and you can get basically all that functionality without having to use third-party apps, which is really nice. For me, that was something that I used quite often, and it definitely made a difference in the time that I was using it as my dedicated phone. But like I will always say, if you want to try Android, just start small, get your S26 Ultra or whatever Android of your preference, and get maybe the headphones and start with that, and then maybe hold it for a year or for a release cycle, because as you guys know, most companies, whenever they release a new phone, obviously the improvements are very minimal, which is normal. But if we switch phones, it feels a little bit better, so it gives you a newer phone feeling, which is quite nice to have every now and then. But anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna